Sing a sad song in a lonely place. Hello everybody and welcome to That's Football. We're live for some football, funnily enough. It's Arsenal against Spurs this afternoon. Hope you're all doing very well. It's a massive game. It's the North London derby, but it actually is a massive game for both clubs because in the sense of Arsenal, they've got 6 points. Their season started against Norwich. They've won 2 games. They lost their first 3 games. But if they were to win today, they would level up with Spurs, who would reverse what Arsenal did. 3 losses for Arsenal, 3 wins, 3 wins for Spurs, and then 3 losses. So we'll see how it works out. But first of all, I just want to say a big shout out to, I don't know what's going on here. Oh my God, it's all over the place. What is going on? What's going on here? Is that going to be in a different place as well? No, it's not, it's fine. Weird things going on. Anyway, the show is sponsored by OneFootball today. You can get the OneFootball app. I'm sure many of you know everything about the OneFootball app, but I'm going to tell you this. The football season is in full swing, and OneFootball is here to make sure you have everything you need to keep you up to date with the latest football action. I'm sure you guys have heard me on about OneFootball before, so you know it's the best place to get all your live scores, your stats, your transfer news, and up-to-date content surrounding your favourite club and leagues. I use it almost every day, especially in relation to like the foreign leagues. And so what are you waiting for? Head over to the link in the video description and download it for free using the link in the description right now. And obviously it will have your stats and everything available for the Arsenal versus Tottenham game as well. And I'm just going to play on the screen how the app works for you for the moment. But look, this is a massive game for Arsenal. It's a massive game for Spurs. I'm going to bring you the team news now. But I do have a feeling that we are going to get that situation. I don't know what your predictions are, but I do think we're going to get that situation. Wolves beat Southampton, by the way, as well. So Southampton not having a great start to the season. Wolves not having a great start to the season, but it's a big win for Wolves. But massive game for Arsenal. Their team they've gone with is Ramsdale, Tomiyasu, White, Gabriel, Tierney, Partey, Xhaka, Saka, Odegaard, Smith Rowe, Aubameyang. Again, it doesn't look like a bad Arsenal team for the first time in a long time. I think they're actually starting to look, relatively decent, a sort of a top 6 sort of club again. So interested to see how they're going to get on in the way that they play. Spurs have gone with Lloris, Tanganga, Sanchez, Dyer, Reguilon, and Dembele, Højbjerg, Ali, Lucas, Kane and Son. And again, if you're looking at 11s, that they're quite evenly matched, I feel. I think it's going to be an interesting game in that sense. But I think the edge I would give to Arsenal is that they are the home team. They can't afford to lose this. If they lose this, they go 6 points behind Spurs and they stay on 6 points themselves. They've got to win this. I think Arsenal fans are and Arsenal themselves are not hiding, but they're sort of putting themselves behind this. Well, we had a very difficult start to the season. The season starts with that win against Norwich, and I don't think Arsenal can really afford to have another slip up. So I think Arsenal will win today. I'm going to go with a 2-1 win. What I would say about Spurs is, I would prefer Spurs to win, I suppose. I probably would. I like Spurs more than I like Arsenal. I'll be honest on that one. But I do think Arsenal will win. And I do think that Spurs... I just don't think Spurs have appointed the right coach. And maybe I'll be proved right and maybe I'll be proved wrong on that. But I don't think they've appointed the right coach. I think that Nuno is a very defensive coach. And I don't think that fits in with Spurs. I don't think I don't think Harry Kane looks settled at Spurs. I don't think he obviously wants to be at Spurs. So I think it's going to be a difficult game for Spurs here, and obviously you've got a crowd. It's a North London derby. It's the first North London derby we've had in quite a long time with a crowd in it. And I think if Arsenal use that crowd to their advantage, they should be able to overwhelm a Spurs side, which does tend to be quite counter-attacking. So it could fall away from Spurs. We saw what happened to them last week in the second half against Chelsea. They just disappeared in that second half. It could have been 6-0 to Chelsea. So Arsenal need to go into this game and attack this game. And I think that I worry about Spurs. I do. Thank you. Disconnecting. I'll have a look at that one. It's getting a bit boring at this point, isn't it? But I will definitely take a look at that. Thank you very much. Also, thanks everyone who's tuning in. Please subscribe to the channel, by the way, bottom right hand corner. We're on that road to 550k, so make sure you subscribe. Bottom right hand corner. I don't know why I've got rugby on the telly. Can anyone tell me why I'm watching rugby? I've got no idea why I've got rugby on the bloody telly. Can get off for a start. Bloody rugby. It's not the Six Nations, is it? Get the football on. Someone just said they're a Liverpool fan, but I love you. Am I wrong? Well, I think at the end of the day, because I'm a fan who I like watching football. You know, I like watching football. So, you know, you can watch me and enjoy the football, and I think that's what football's all about, isn't it? So, Mark, where did you get your PS3 from? Where did you get your PS5 from? Says Ross G. Dun dun dun. From a shop. Say Sue, says Manav. Hey, if you were watching my FIFA career mode, which I've just finished on Twitch, there was a couple of Sue moments there. Spurs in the mud, that's all I can say, because we'll be chucking up the highlights on here tomorrow, but enjoyed that. 100 wins for Lewis, Mark. Yeah, the F1 was interesting, wasn't it? Unlucky for Lando, but yeah, he did very, very well. Lewis, 100 wins. Mark, seriously, Ollie's stupidity is affecting my mental health. What should I do, says M. Parker. If football's affecting your mental health, speak to somebody about it, somebody professional, because at the end of the day, I can't relate to that. You know, I get very, very, very disappointed and I get very passionate about my football, but ultimately I do realise that I'm just a fan, and our destiny is in the hands of 11 multimillionaires and a manager who has the decisions to make for millions. So I don't let that sort of thing, you know, damage my mental health in that way, because I'm out of control. It's not in my control. And I try to just focus on the things I can control. But it is very disappointing when your team's not winning. But imagine what it's like to be an Arsenal fan. Oh, we've won a trophy before you. Yes, I know. I saw it yesterday. I said something yesterday about Arsenal and Spurs trying to get the league to allow them to have a North London Cup so they can win a trophy. And all I got was, we've won a trophy more recently than you. And I said, I just think, you know, I get that. Well done. You've won a trophy more recently than Manchester United. You're not in Europe. You finished 8th twice. Like, you might have won a trophy more recently than us, but you're shit. Like, you know, I don't get that argument. We've won a trophy more recently than you, so therefore we're better than you now. You're not better than Manchester United. Even if you beat us next month, you're not better than Manchester United. You're not better than Chelsea. You're not better than Liverpool. You're not better than Man City. You're a club that's fighting for 5th. And that's the journey you've got to go on. And I speak to many Arsenal fans about this, and they say, look, we've got to accept our place. We're trying to build back. We're trying to get back to being a relevant club. Getting into arguments with United fans or anything like that is just the petty little nonsense that some Arsenal fans want to do, because they don't accept where they are. And the journey is where you are. But look, on a positive for Arsenal, and I've always been, you know, I've always said I think the Arteta out movement is childish. I look at Arsenal and I go, you know, for the first time in a long time, I'm starting to look at their team and think, that's not a bad 11 for Arsenal. It's not a bad 11 today. That back four, all right, it's not Man City's back four, it's not Liverpool's back four, but that's not what Arsenal are trying to do. Only idiot Arsenal fans think that they're in a top 4 race. Arsenal are trying to get 5th. They've been 8th for 2 years. You can't go from 8th to title race. They've got to build. And I think with that back four they've got now, Cherney, Gabriel, White, Ramsdale, and then the lad they've brought in at right back, they're starting to build something, and it's starting to be built in Arteta's vision. Partey was one of his signings, Xhaka, and then you got Smith Rowe, Xhaka, Odegaard, and Aubameyang, and it's starting to take shape. You know, it is starting to take shape, and I am starting to look at that Arsenal side and go, you know what? It's not bad. It's not bad, but it's a long way back. Did you watch the fight, Marky Boy? An opinion of it, says Naomi. I very nearly did a watch along for it, Naomi. To be honest, I sort of wish I had. I enjoyed the fight from a boxing point of view. I've watched boxing since I was like probably about 7. I used to watch it on ITV. Remember Nigel Benn and Nigel Benn McClellan? I was talking to Paul Ince about that the other day actually, because Nigel Benn is Paul Ince's cousin, and Saturday night 9 o'clock. Super middleweight fights in the early 90s was brilliant. So I love boxing, but I just think, you know, the other lad, Joshua, just got a bit outboxed, didn't he? Unfortunately, I did want Joshua to win, but you know, I've got to be honest, he didn't deserve to win. It's Saka, not Xhaka. I know, I don't really care. I'm not an Arsenal fan. I'll say what I like. Mark, did you see the fallout between Ceballos and Nketiah during pre-match training? Max, no, I didn't. I didn't even know Ceballos was still out there. And hey Mark, what are your thoughts on playing Kane as a winger? Pramod. I think Harry Kane, just to talk about Spurs for a moment, I've just played Spurs on FIFA and it was hilarious because I'm playing, right, and Harry Kane is tackling Bruno when Spurs have got the ball. And this is my problem with Harry Kane for both England and for Tottenham. He's playing way too deep. He's coming in too deep, and I think he's almost become obsessed with this whole I'm going to be a false nine at Man City. But it's almost like he doesn't understand what a false nine is. He ends up in the centre circle. Like, it's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And I don't really get... I mean, obviously Harry Kane's not particularly happy at Spurs because he wanted to move. It's very obvious he wanted to move. But he's coming too deep. Way too deep. And I think that... Look, I've always said Harry Kane's one of the best strikers in the world, and he is. But I don't see Lewandowski in the centre circle. You very rarely see Ronaldo in them sort of areas. I mean, sometimes, you know, if you're in defence, you're going to be like that. But I think he's dropping way too deep because he's believing his own hype that he can hit these sort of long balls. But the whole point is that isn't he meant to be on the end of those balls? So, you know, it is an interesting one at the end of the day. Please subscribe, by the way. Smash a like on the video. We are doing the North London Derby. We're about 15 minutes away from kickoff. I'm excited about this one. I know Ollie said after the game yesterday it must have been a good one for the neutrals. I've got no time for a Manchester United manager talking about a Manchester United game and saying it'll be a good game for the neutrals, because ultimately I don't want a good game for the neutrals. I want a good game for Manchester United. But for today's game, I think it's as close as you can get for me for a game I'm just looking forward to watch as a neutral. I'd rather Spurs win, but I'm not massively bothered if Arsenal win. It's not, you know, I don't feel threatened by either of these two clubs. And maybe that's a bit arrogant, having just lost to Villa. I accept that. But I think they're both a long way off where, you know, United and Liverpool and Chelsea and Man City want to be. But I think it's a very big game in their season. I mean, look, the reality is if Spurs win this game, they're only a point behind United after 4, you know, so I can't argue about that. But Arsenal win this, level with Spurs. They put themselves in, you know, close to sort of 4th and 5th place. So it's a big game for Arsenal. I feel Arsenal need to win. But get your score predictions in the live chat. I'm going to go 2-1 Arsenal. This is the one. But what I like, you know, I think Arteta I know for a fact that there are Arsenal fans out there who genuinely want them to lose, really, because they want to be proven right about Arteta. I think we have some of those with United as well. But I think that, you know, at the end of the day, I like the fact that look, to be honest, there's not a lot I liked about Arsenal, to be honest with you, but I like the fact that, you know, Odegaard, Smith Rowe, Saka, these are exciting players. They are exciting young players. 2 of them are English, and I like that. You know, I think it's, you know, how many other clubs are doing that sort of thing? I mean, Man United do it quite a lot. Obviously, we've got Rashford, we've got Greenwood, got Sancho now. Man City, Foden and Grealish. Chelsea, Mason Mount. You know, Liverpool, not really any attacking English players, I suppose, but I like that. I like the fact that Arteta is looking at it like that and doing it that way. And I don't want Arsenal to be successful, but I've got to say, I've always looked at the Arsenal situation and, you know, unfortunately, I do know some Arsenal fans who are really, really, you know, switched on. But I also hear these Arsenal fans that you hear as well, and I don't think they represent your club very well. And I know that sounds very sort of hypocritical because I'm somebody who does this sort of thing for United, and United fans would say the same. But I'm not there chanting Ollie out after every bad result. I'm not doing that. I think we need to improve. He's been here 2.5 years, but I think with Arteta, it's very clear to me that job at Arsenal was never going to be done fast. It was going to take time. And I look at what he's doing now, and I think, well, you know, a different manager might not do what Arteta's doing. He is trying to build something, and he is using these younger players that, you know, look at the players that he shipped out. Pepe, I think he bought Pepe, but, you know, he'd rather play Saka and he'd rather play Odegaard and he'd rather play Smith Rowe. Lacazette can't get near the team at the moment as well. He's got rid of a lot of these players, which ultimately I just don't think really are the sort of players that are going to take Arsenal to the next level. I mean, you look at Arsenal's bench, Leno, Lacazette, Maitland-Niles, Holding, Suarez, Pepe, Tavares, Lokonga, Martinelli. There's a good mix on there. I mean, yeah, those legacy players are still there, like Lacazette, but I think he's building something. And the benches are interesting. I mean, look at Spurs. Romero, I think we expected him to be in the team for Spurs by now. He's not. Gill, another signing. Rodon, Lo Celso. I think Arsenal are starting to look like a team, and I think they're starting to look like a bench. I mean, what I would say is that I think that Arsenal really have got a chance of getting into like 5th or 6th, and that's an improvement for them. I know it sounds harsh, and I'm so sure some people might disagree with me, but I do feel that the top 4 is the top 4, and the top 4 is nailed down. So I think that if you are an Arsenal or a Spurs or a Leicester, 5th place is good. After yesterday's shit show, I just want to see a good footballing game, says Maz. And thoughts on Leicester's bad start? It's gone under the radar, but I think they might struggle this season, having to play Europa League as well. Well, they very nearly lost to Burnley yesterday, Carl. United play them in a couple of weeks, and I'm hoping that this form of Leicester can carry on for a bit, because I'm quite surprised. They're a decent side, Leicester, and they do tend to hit a bit of form at some point. Mark, you know who I hate more than Arsenal? Klopp. Ever since his remark about us, all referees' decisions going against us. Villa's goal was way offside, says Andrew C. I don't actually think that. And also listen to what De Gea said. I don't think he was looking for excuses either. I mean, I'm not. We're not Burnley. It's not. We're not going to look back at that at the end of the season and say that decision, stopped us staying up. I mean, if Man United at home need help from VAR for a potential offside at the end of the game, then I've got no excuses for that. I can't argue about this. I think at the end of the day, whether it's offside or not, Man United didn't deserve to win that game, and we should be winning that game. Do you feel Greenwood's development will be hampered over the next 2 years because Ronaldo is the best young scorer in England, says the Rat? I think Mason Greenwood's is absolutely fine at Manchester United, and I think that he's keeping Jadon Sancho out of the team. He's playing well. I thought he was a bit greedy yesterday. It was almost like he was trying to impress too much, but ultimately I would have been impressed with Greenwood if he'd have put a cross on the head of Ronaldo, as much as I would have been impressed if he'd won as it late on or something like that. So I think Greenwood's 19, and his development at Manchester United actually is one of the positives at the moment. He is a player that's developing well, but look, there's a lot of competition for places, as we know. Thoughts on the Brighton and Brentford starts, says Lucas. Very impressed with Brentford. Brighton. I mean, Brighton have done this before. It's not. I mean, to be fair, it's a little bit disrespectful to Brighton to say, "Oh, are you surprised by Brighton's start?" Because I think Brighton have started off well, but Brighton are a team that they're well coached. They've got some good players. So I'm not massively surprised by Brighton's start. Brentford have surprised me. They have. But as I said, who's going to go down? Who is going to go down this season at the expense of anybody else? I think it's quite a congested league table when you look at it. You've got Norwich. Norwich are going down. I mean, they've got no points from 6. It's embarrassing. Burnley have got 2, but I think Burnley are very seasoned in staying up. I mean, Leeds are quite surprising. 3 points from 6 is very poor from Leeds. Newcastle 3 points from 6. Southampton 4 points from 6. Palace 5 points from 6. But I do think that I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a Brentford get sucked down into that. They've had a very good start. They're a very well organised side. I think a lot of people are saying, "Oh yeah, Brentford are going to be this season's Sheffield United," and I do get that, but they might not be. Palace 5 from 5, says Reese. They've only played 5. They're playing Brighton tomorrow, aren't they? So. But Villa going to United winning yesterday was a big result, and I think teams at the start of the season tend to nobody's in a rhythm yet. Nobody knows what their season's all about yet. I think by the end of the next international break, so by the end of November, you'll start to see the rhythm. I think the only team that's in a rhythm and is definitely going down is Norwich. Norwich are going to go down. I don't think Wolves will go down, Ben. I don't see Wolves going down. Newcastle. The thing about the Newcastles and the Burnleys and everybody else is that they're experienced Premier League clubs, and they'll start to realise where they can pick the points up. And as long as Newcastle can go and beat a Brentford and a Norwich, then they will start to accumulate enough points. But yeah, Newcastle are a consideration, definitely. They could be in trouble. Please smash a like on the video and subscribe, by the way. You're very welcome on the show, apart from this twat, who I'm just going to get rid of. There we go. You don't get shout-outs for your little trolley comments anymore. I'm not one of those streamers who, takes the bait of your little horrible comments. You just get blocked. Thoughts on Son signing a new contract this summer? Why would he sign when he could leave for best clubs in Europe, or does he believe in Spurs? Says hey. He's obviously very happy at Spurs, I suppose. Obviously very happy at Spurs. As I said, when Nuno got the job, I didn't think he was a good fit for Spurs. They won their first 3 games, and everyone was going, "Oh, you're wrong about Nuno." Maybe I will be wrong about Nuno, but if he loses today, he's lost 3 in a row, and I just don't. I think this is a massive game for Arsenal, but I think it's a massive, massive game for Spurs as well. I think if Spurs can win this, it can almost be a kickstart to their season, despite the fact they've already got 9 points. But there's a real stark contrast here, and the contrast is this. After 3 games, Spurs were top of the league with 9 points, and Arsenal were bottom of the league with 0 points. 3 games later, they could be on the same points, and that's how quick things can change around. So I just think Arsenal are going to be up for this, and I think Spurs were very reactive and very poor against Chelsea in the second half. So let's see how it goes. Thanks to Flex47, who's one of our mods today. I'm sure we've got others, but appreciate that, Flex47. And also, United could lose 3 in a row. They could do, Aman. They could do. Do you think there'll be a red card in the game? Says Dom. Well, he said Xhaka. These are the sort of games where you can get a red card. I think Xhaka's a good call, and I think Dele Alli can lose his head a little bit as well. So yeah, wouldn't be surprised. Would you rather a striker that scores 25 goals in 25 different games, or scores 25 goals in 18 different games? Max, that is really, really odd. I don't really care. If they score 25 goals, they score 25 goals. It's probably better to score 25 goals in 18 games, because that means you get in it, they're scoring 2 goals in a game, which means you're probably going to win more. Watched Villarreal against Madrid yesterday. It was tight and lucky for Real, and who will play in defence against them if Oli lose 2 in a row in Champions League? I can't read the name out, but thanks for the super chat. And hey Mark, I honestly think a 4-4-2 formation would work for United. Pogba, Donny in the middle, Bruno, Ronaldo front 2, Rashford, Sancho wingers. The defence picks itself, says Israel. I don't think that would work at all. But do you ever put a bet on, Mark, says Joe? Sometimes, not as much as I used to, but sometimes. If you want to do a super chat, by the way, you can do it through the $sign. Thanks everyone who's doing that. And United will beat Villarreal, says David. Yeah, I think United will win their next 3. I think we'll beat Villarreal, Everton, and Leicester. Oli always does bounce back. I don't think the football will be good, but I think we will. I think we will win those games. So players are on the pitch. Big shout out to OneFootball for sponsoring the show today. Please download it. It's free. It's on Apple and Android. I'm just checking if it is in the video description. It is. Download it for free. Apple and Android. Get all your latest scores, all your latest news, transfer news on all the leagues all around the world. Fantastic little app, and it's free to download through the link in the video description. Big shout out to OneFootball for sponsoring the stream today. Well, Mark just won €155 on Raul Jimenez to score first and Wolves to win 1-0, says Connor 252. Well done, Connor. Well done, Connor. I've already played FIFA today. I've only got 10 minutes left on my EA Access, but it's out tonight, isn't it? So not that bothered. Thanks for the super chat there from Not an Expert. I'm going to go 2-1 in this game to Arsenal. 2-1 to Arsenal. Please subscribe, by the way. Bottom right hand corner, we're really close to 536,000. In fact, we're only 50 away. So bottom right hand corner to do that. Appreciate everyone who's tuning in as ever, and please share the video if you are watching. Thoughts on Oli? Well, we're doing a big show tonight on the United Stand at 8 o'clock about Oli, which is going to be quite in depth, so I don't want to dwell too much on that because it's just it's going to eat into what we're going to talk about on the 8 o'clock panel show tonight. But you know, in a sentence, my feeling about Ollie is that he will be here. I've said this a few times. I think he'll still be the manager this time next year. I think he's more than capable of winning enough games to stay in a job. And I also know for a fact that the club are very happy with him. Can you please stop restarting the clock, says Kazan. I don't know what you're talking about, Kazan. And hello, Mark. Do you think Pogba will keep on playing on the left until Rashford is back? Emre, of course. Yeah, I don't understand why we're doing that, because if he's going to play in the midfield, surely you just put him in the midfield now and put Sancho on the left. But when Rashford's back, he will play. So simple as that. I'm just going to get the timer ready for you now. We are about to kick off in this one. 2-1 Arsenal I'm going with, but hopefully we'll see a game that's got lots of action in it, a lot of passion in it, and the players take the knee there. Glorious day down in London. North London, of course. And there we go. We're up and running. The timer's up and running as well. Do you think Martial should be sold in January, says Umar? I think he will be, yeah. I do. Fast start here. You've got to get your tackles in a game like this. There will be some tackles. It is a derby, and there will be what both sets of fans expect in a game like this is commitment and desire, and then everything else from that you can take into it. It can be a great leveler, a derby. Form goes out the window, but to be honest with you, both these teams are probably quite equal on form, equal on ability. So it's difficult to call it in that way. I do think that having the home crowd in a game like this should benefit Arsenal. So I'm going to go 2-1 to Arsenal in this. Good tackle there. Refs let it go. The referee, you do want to see the referee. Good tackle there by Ben White. You do want to see the referee. £50 million centre-back, remember. You do want to see the referee letting these go. I know someone was moaning there that he should have given a foul, but I think in a game like this, you don't want to see soft fouls being given. You want to let the game try and flow. I don't want to see an early yellow card. Let it go. Let the tempo get going. Who is the ref? I can never remember what his bloody name is, but I know. Is it Craig somebody? Porwell or something like that. I can't remember what he's called. Pawson, that's it. Craig Pawson. I will be actually just thank you very much for that. This is the Champions League back this week, so I will let you know what games we're going to be doing. I'd like Martial at Arsenal. Reminds me of Henry, says Lachlan. I think Martial would do. To be honest with you, I don't think Liverpool would want him, but I think he would do a good job there as well at Liverpool. But Arsenal would be a good club for him. I think Spurs would be a good club for him as well. I agree. So yes, this week Watchalongs. Tuesday night I'll be doing PSG and Man City. That's a massive game, isn't it? We'll also be keeping an eye on Porto and Liverpool, so it'll be a double Watchalong for that. Wednesday night on the United stand, obviously it's Manchester United against Villarreal. We'll be doing that. Thursday night you can get stuffed. I'm not doing any Europa League on Thursday night. Forget about it. Saturday Manchester United at 12:30, so that will be on the United stand. And then obviously Sunday we will have the Liverpool Man City game covered for you, and then unfortunately after that we're into another shitty international break, I'm afraid, but at least we've got FIFA 22 and the Goldbridge career mode to keep you happy with over the international break. I'll just be doing loads of FIFA stuff over that, I'm afraid, because I can't stand the international break. It's absolutely shite. What do you have for dinner? Spotted Dick, not Spotted Dick, Toad in the Hole. I do like Spotted Dick though, and people will go, oh, he likes a Spotted Dick. No, spotted dick is like a sponge pudding with raisins and everything in it. It's lovely. But toad in the hole. If you know what toad in the hole is, you're a king. Lovely stuff. Keep up the work, mate. Love your stuff, says Kazam. Thank you everybody who watches my stuff and supports me. Actually, I know I say it a lot, but I appreciate it. Just come off a Twitch stream with 4,500 people watching the career mode. Onto here, 7,500 watching the North London Derby. It's just enjoyable. I enjoy it, and I'm glad other people do. So I appreciate the support. Toad in the hole is top notch, says Ash. It is lovely. It is lovely. I've got to admit, I'm trying to cut down on the sweet things, though. What is toad in the hole? It's basically sausages in Yorkshire pudding. Lovely. A bit of onion gravy, mashed potatoes, cabbages. Ooh, cabbage, not cabbages. You don't eat cabbages. Whole. Toad in the hole is my childhood. Love the streams. Hope you're having a good day, says Josh Thompson. Yeah, you can't beat a bit of. It's this time of year, isn't it? That sort of food this time of year. I mean, I don't know what it's like. I mean, obviously, I know a lot of people watch from all around the world, but if you live in and around the UK, you start to get to this time of the year. The nights draw in, and it gets darker, colder. You know, you want to eat some more of that warm sort of food. And Son might be in here. Wait a minute. No, it's all right. Halloween approaches, Christmas lights, all that stuff. Lovely. And then it hits January and it's like, Although, hopefully we'll never have as bad as the first 3 months of this year, lockdown. That's the shittest Christmas ever and the shittest New Year. Now you're in lockdown for 3 years. Beautiful, says Lars. Score prediction 2-1 to Man. I know it says the Etihad. Thank you very much. I can't change it. I didn't do the graphics, so you know I don't know why people get so anal about something I can't even read on the screen. But I'm fully aware it says it. If you want to keep wasting time trying to tell people about it, that's absolutely fine. But nothing can be done about it. So you know I'm not going to mention it. Good chance for Arsenal there. Aubameyang with the shot, and it's a low save from Laris. Sergeant says, do you like horror films at Halloween? I'm not a massive fan of horror films, but what I do like at Halloween is like the Simpsons Halloween specials. I like those sort of things. I'd probably go about as high as Scream. Quite like Scream at Halloween, but good save from Laris. I think it was going to hit the post anyway. Mark, have you tried Korean food before? If yes, do you like it? Says Harikesh. Not massively. I haven't tried it to really give an opinion on it. Do Everton have any chance against Man United next week? Of course they do. Villa have just beaten us, so anybody can beat us. Apparently Scream's back in the cinemas for the 25th anniversary. Is Arsenal on the attack again? Tierney with the cross. Not a very good cross. But it picked up by the right back, who I just can't pronounce his name. Tomiskas, is it? I nearly said tiramisu. I don't know why I said that. Mark, have you seen we have another international break after the next 4 Premier League games after this international break? Yes, Lee, there's always 3 international breaks before Christmas. We've only got rid of 1. Timiasu, that's it. I'm thinking about the Liverpool left back. That's Tomiskas, isn't it? Timiasu. That's why I was thinking about tiramisu. Timiasu. I'm thinking about Timaskas is the bloody Liverpool one, isn't it? Tomiyasu. Not tiramisu. Timasu. Favourite Christmas film, David? I don't think we're quite at that stage yet. It's like snogging on a first date. We're not ready for that. Some people go further than snogging on a first date, you know. Friends with benefits. Here he is, look, Harry Kane, deep again. Deeper than a mole. Needs to get up front. My laptop's taking off here. I definitely need to get a new laptop. It's really getting silly at this point. I don't know what its problem is. Why is it using 55% of my computer? Something's going on in the background. It's like when we used to play Football Manager. It starts taking off. Something going on. Shouldn't be that. Airplane mode activated. Yeah. I've got a good laptop, but I think I need to get, you know, like a proper computer. It's gone quiet now. It's cooled down. I've just checked the task manager. I've got to be honest, I've got an Asus laptop, which is quite a good one, but from day one, the fan's not the best. If you're ever going to buy a laptop for like streaming and stuff, one of the first things you should always check is how noisy the fan is, because it never crashes or anything like that. It just gets quite noisy. But one thing I've learnt is I always keep my laptop flat. You need to get something where you elevate it a little bit. I believe FIFA, if you've got the Ultimate Team Edition in the UK, is out at midnight tonight. But screw that. I don't stay up late to play games. I'll play in the morning. Arsenal playing a decent brand of football here. They are. Outside the top four, who's the best manager in the Premier League? So Stuart. Good question. I would throw into the hat Brendan Rodgers, Graham Potter. I'm not going to jump on the Brentford manager train yet. I mean, it's early in the season, but you know he deserves a notable shout out. I mean, Rafa Benitez ain't a bad coach, you know. Dean Smith does a good job at Villa. There's a few. Hi Mark, if you could go anywhere in the world, where would you go? Luton or Southend? Stan, I'd probably go Southend because they probably do quite nice fish and chips. If it's a Dell, update the BIOS. That should fix it. It says RWR FC. It's not. It's an Asus. To be fair, it's quite hot. That's probably why it's doing it. Arsenal on the attack again here. But good interception. Saka in the box. Cross. This should be a goal. It is a goal. It's 1-0 to Arsenal and it's Odegaard. It's not. It's Smith Rowe. And I've got Smith Rowe in my fancy Premier League team. So I'm not going to celebrate it for that reason. But there is a positive. And it is that. Saka, the youngsters combined. That'll be a lovely goal for Arsenal fans to celebrate. It will be a lovely goal for Arsenal fans to celebrate. I mean, look, as I said, the interesting thing is I believe that there are Arsenal fans out there that want Arteta to fail. And as I said, you know, as a United fan, I don't want Arsenal to do well. But I said it before kickoff. I'm starting to look at the Arsenal team and I'm seeing things that, you know, it is a build. You can see the build. And Saka, lovely cross, and Smith Rowe taps it in. It's a good goal by Arsenal. And it's, you know, to be fair, the goal is made by the three attackers behind Aubameyang. It's Odegaard to Saka to Smith Rowe, and he taps it in. It's a lovely goal for Arsenal, and it's 1-0. You can't knock it. They've started off well. They've got the goal. Arteta's loving it. And, you know, is this the rebuild of Arsenal, finally? Super simple goal. Lovely play, says Connor. But they're moving the ball around nicely, Arsenal. I mean, a few who were mentioning that before. They've started off well, and Spurs. I'm not a big fan of Nuno, as I've said many times. It's almost like I want to get proven right. But they've started off confidently, Arsenal. They're moving the ball around, and you know what? As well, I always said this about Arteta. When I was, people used to say I was defensive of Arteta, and why would that make sense when I'm not an Arsenal fan? But I always I don't watch non-United games just, you know, with a, you know, drooling from the mouth, like not engaging with what's going on. You know, I watch Arsenal play a lot. I watch Spurs play a lot, Chelsea. So you sort of get you get to a point where you can have an opinion what's going on. At Arsenal, I was just like, well, you know, at the end of the day, they're miles away from where they need to be. They're not going to go from 8th to title contenders in 2 months. It's going to probably take 2 years at least. So you've got to start somewhere. And what I never saw from Arsenal was the bravery and patience within the fan base and the club to actually start building something. And I think at Arsenal in the last couple of weeks, I've looked at that lineup and gone, well, it is actually evolving. I still think they're going to have bad results. I still think it's going to be a roller coaster, but they are starting to evolve. They're starting to build something. You can see a different shape to the team. When Arteta first came in, I think he spent a year where he was playing against the top teams and he was sort of like playing a back five and counter-attack. And I was like, well, that's clearly not the way Arteta wants to play, is it? Arteta doesn't want to play counter-attacking football. Reguilon with the cross. It's a lovely cross. Son should have got on the end of it. He clearly doesn't want to play counter-attacking football when he's, you know, somebody that was basically Pep's assistant. So I think the disappointing thing if Arteta would have been sacked, if I'd have been an Arsenal fan, would have been we never got to see what he was all about. And I think you're now starting to see a little bit of what he's all about. He's got rid of the back fives and he's playing with a back four, you know, 2 holding midfielders, three attacking midfielders. My Sky's been glitching a bit, Kate, as well. They're starting to take shape. But I still think you will get certain Arsenal fans who will, you know, moan the next time you lose, get rid of Arteta, because that's the yo-yo embarrassment sort of fan base you have as a, you know, who speak to the majority. But I think if you are an Arsenal fan, you should start to look at that team that he's building and go, yeah, there's going to be some bumps in the road, but if we can finish top 6, have a good cup run, get into Europe, and next season add a couple of players and you know, people like Saka and Smith Rowe and Odegaard are a year older, you know, things start to improve even more. I think the time to start judging Arteta is at least a year away, maybe even 2. Good shot, good save again. Arsenal are attacking really, really well here. Thomas Partey with the shot. 15 minutes gone, 1-0 down. Get Nuno out, he's shocking, says Echoes. Well, I said this, look, you watch a lot of football, you get to know what a lot of managers are like. I couldn't stand playing Wolves with United. They were such a defence, part of the bus side, counter-attack FC, and I'm very surprised that Spurs went from Mourinho to Nuno, but we'll have to wait and see what happens with it. But I don't think Spurs are gonna. I don't think you're gonna see a good brand of football at Spurs with Nuno. Maybe I'll be wrong, but you know, everyone makes a prediction, don't they? I think it's a real shame that Spurs didn't get Conte, but another long shot from Arsenal that time, Aubameyang. But they're getting a lot of shots away. Spurs looking ragged again. Ziz says, I never understood why Spurs got Nuno. No. Kane's lost the will to play, says Dom. Do I think Arteta's got a better style of football than Ollie? On the face of today, yes, because ultimately that doesn't mean he's a better coach than Ollie, but I do think there's a defined way of playing. You know, Brighton, Potter's got a better style of play than Ollie. He won't finish anywhere near United in the league, but Brentford have got a better style than Ollie because they've got a style, and it's not long ball, and it's not counter-attacking, and it's not part of the bus. So, you know, you can see what Arteta's trying to do. You can see the shape he's trying to set his team up. You can see the passing lanes. You can see the pass and move. You know, you can see what he's trying to do with his fullbacks getting forward. You can start to see it take shape. As I said, I think that first year under Arteta, it was confusing because you know that Arteta sat next to Pep for a couple of years, and then he comes to Arsenal and sort of parks the bus with 5 defenders and tries to hit teams on the break. But I think he came into the club and was like, I haven't got the players, so this is the best I can do. Do you think the penalty by Bruno was missed on purpose? No. There'd be no reason to miss it on purpose, Big J, but it wasn't a normal Bruno penalty, I would say that. Spurs on the attack here. Dele Alli gets it out wide. Arsenal in a good shape. Tanganga does well. Gets caught late. Doesn't get a free kick. Got Smith Rowe in my fancy Premier League team. I have, yeah, and I've got Damari Gray. He got an assist yesterday, so I've not had a very good week on my fancy Premier League actually. Say what you want about Van Gaal. At least I knew what Van Gaal was doing with the team before that Leicester result. Thought we played all right. Yeah, that killed him, Red Baron. Really, you're right. That result did kill him. Thanks everyone who's tuning in. By the way, if you do play fancy Premier League, let us know what your points accumulation is so far. The average points at the moment is 35. I've got 43. I've actually had one of those weeks where it's worked out quite well for me because Cody's got 6 points with a clean sheet, and Smith Rowe's just got me 6 points. But my front three, 2 points for Lukaku, 2 points for Ronaldo, Antonio got me a goal, Gray got me 6 points, Salah 7, Smith Rowe 6, Greenwood 2, Kufal 2. So still got the Brighton goalkeeper to come tomorrow. Crystal Palace goalkeeper tomorrow I've gone with. I could have gone with the Brighton goalkeeper, so I didn't know which to go with. So 43 points for me at the moment, including what Smith Rowe just got me. Even though you're not usually what are your thoughts on Bruno post, says Daniel Kirk. And thank you for Zayn Miasi's super chat. He's flying high with his super sticker. FIFA 22, I've just done a FIFA 2 episode for Paul Johnson. It's on Twitch at the moment, so we'll have a highlights episode on here going up tomorrow morning. And so basically highlights go up on this channel, but the live stream full extent goes on Twitch. So I've just done episode 3 on Twitch, but episode 4 will be at 3 o'clock. Highlights for episode 3 will go up in the morning. Nice bit of a play by Dele Alli there. I mean, I don't think Dele Alli's a very good footballer anymore, you know. Sadly, Arsenal has a better playing style than us, Mark, says Tam. Lucas Moura. Son. I play on PS5 now, mate. Will. Sorry, not Will. Hey. Son on the left-hand side here, into the box. Oh, he went for the front post shot, and it's a good save by Ramsdale. No front post glitch there. What do you think about that, actually? I mean, what is your opinion on that? Ramsdale taking Leno's spot. I'm all for it. I'm all for it because I just felt that Leno was massively overrated. I know Arsenal fans who absolutely loved Leno, and every time I watched him, I'm like, I'm not impressed. He always makes a mistake. So I think they've made the right decision going with Ramsdale. I really do. Final review on FIFA 22 says PB. I'll talk about that in a minute, mate. Remind me. But no, I think it's a correct decision. But I know Leno's very popular with certain Arsenal fans. To be honest, I know Arsenal fans who had him on WhatsApp, so they'll never say anything bad about him. But yeah, he got protected. Bit like Aubameyang at times. I think Aubameyang got protected, didn't he? Because of even though he was on big money last year, and he was shocking, absolutely shocking. Great that Jimenez scored. That's my thoughts on that, Cooper. Well, wow, got nearly 10,000 watching. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe. Bottom right hand corner, we're very close to 536,000. We've got the Champions League watch-along on Tuesday night, PSG Man City. We'll also be keeping an eye on Liverpool Porto. Arsenal 1-0 up here. I missed the show this morning. Sorry if you covered my question. I just wanted to know your thoughts, says Daniel. I didn't really talk about it massively. Suffice to say, I think I get fed up of these players talking about bouncing back. It's almost like they forget. Oh, Harry Kane shooting from 40 yards, ridiculous. Any United player or fan or manager that starts talking about bouncing back, do you not remember that we lost to Young Boys a week ago and we were going to bounce them back and fight from that? The thing is, it's like the boy who cried wolf. You can't keep saying, let's get together and fight again and come back and bounce back. It only works if it's happening once a year, not 3 or 4 times a month. Very simple goal for Arsenal, you know, but a very well worked goal. No one's gone with the run of Smith Rowe. Xhaka or McFred? Bloody hell, that's a tough one. Probably Xhaka, isn't it? You know, probably is, to be fair. Xhaka or Fred, definitely, yeah. FB's unhappy because his FIFA trial ran out. Mine's ran out now, to be honest, mate. But it's back tomorrow, isn't it? If you've got the Ultimate Edition, or Friday if you've not got it. Nice ball over the top to Xhaka again, and Spurs win it. What frustrates me about it is, I understand why FIFA give the game to loads of gamers, because then those gamers play the game and they sell more copies of the game. But also it gives them a massive advantage because they get to master the game for a week before it goes out to the general public. So, you know, it's difficult. It's difficult. What's up with Harry Kane? Keep playing as a false 6. He's ghosting so much now, says Carl Jan. And the Football Guru says, Mark, I'm getting worried about United now. You think Arsenal have a chance to finish above us? I can't take that. No, I think Arsenal are on the road to improvement, but I would be very surprised if they didn't, you know, continue to lose games, because they're still a team that, you know, is, you know, it's a competitive league, and I think that they will struggle to pick up points consistently. I mean, look at Arsenal's next few games. They've got Brighton next week. I think that'll be a difficult game for them at 5:30. Then they've got Palace at home, Villa at home, and then they've got Leicester away. So, I mean, if Arsenal could beat Brighton, if Arsenal win here today and then they beat Brighton and they beat Palace and they beat Villa and they beat Leicester, that's top 4 form. Do I think Arsenal can do that yet? No. I still think that they are going to yo-yo a bit. But I think what Arsenal fans need to do, and look, it's early days, they could still lose this game, but I think what Arsenal fans need to do is open their eyes to the fact that there is change and improvement. I can see it. As a neutral, I can see it. I can see that team is you're starting to see a consistent best 11. Now, he won't be able to pick that 11 every week. But remember, Arsenal don't play European football either. So we're starting to see his best 11. Within that best 11, you can see development and growth. And yeah, I still think they're going to drop some silly points. But I think as long as they see progression at Arsenal, I think most of their fans are happy with that. Lovely first touch by Smith Rowe here. He's done fantastic with the cutback. It's 2-0. It's absolutely fantastic from Arsenal. Absolutely fantastic. Superb play. Smith Rowe, absolutely fantastic. 2-0 to Arsenal. And I've got to be honest, that was fantastic. It really was. Absolutely fantastic goal. It really, really was fantastic. On the break, first touch. I don't know who it was. I don't know who it was. I mean, it sort of comes from the keeper as well. It's a breakaway goal. But let's watch this back. Ramsdale. It wasn't a great ball by Ramsdale. It's actually Aubameyang with the flick to Smith Rowe. Smith Rowe's first touch is delightful. He then cuts it back to Aubameyang and he bangs it into the bottom corner. I mean, look, Eric Dyer's not a centre-back. He's watching Aubameyang the whole time and doesn't stay with Aubameyang. I don't know why he doesn't get close to Aubameyang, but he doesn't, and it ends up 2-0 to Arsenal. Fantastic goal. Can only say that is a really, really good goal from Arsenal, and Spurs are in massive trouble again here. And I hate to be proven right, but I did say I don't think Nuno's a good appointment. You win your first 3 games. Oh, I thought you said Nuno was shit, and I'm like, it's the first 3 games. First 3 games, and I don't rate Nuno, but I tell you what, if you can't see what Arteta's changing at Arsenal, you're blind. And I tell you what, you've got some gobby fans who've been hounding this manager for a very long time, and I think, you know, it's a very different. I've always said Arteta reminds me of United, but he's about 18 months behind that situation because there's a lot of work to do at that club. A lot of work to do at Arsenal. But it is starting to take shape. You can see the patterns. You can see the team that he's trying to build. And interesting. And what I would admire about Arteta is that he's made big decisions. Zane Miasi's here with the goal. Hey Zane, you can shut up. You're one of the ones who said get rid of Arteta. What are you thinking now, Zane? Instead of your super stickers, give us an opinion on Arteta. Come on, Zane, we all want to know. There is an 8 PM show tonight, Charlie. We all want to know, Zane, what are your thoughts? Because you've been very vocal about not liking Arteta. So are you changing your mind? Let us know. But yeah, Arsenal fans have got to be patient. They wanted him sacked after the City game, didn't they? But you've got to be patient. Harry Kane don't want it though, does he? Harry Kane does not want this at all. He ain't interested in this anymore. I don't understand why people say Pep ain't a good coach. He did not take a small club job initially. Klopp, Jose had to do it because they were unknown before. Pep was a Champions League winning midfielder, says Akil. I don't know what the question is there, Akil, so I read it as a statement. So it's a very impressive opening half an hour here from Arsenal, leading 2-0 against Spurs. And I tell you what, it'll be very interesting for those Arsenal fans who have been ridiculously vocal about Arteta not being good enough. I mean, how do they react to that then? Do they just start saying, "Oh, he started doing what I wanted him to do now"? I mean, what a load of nonsense! Like. They'll have to turn heads though, won't they? They'll have to turn their direction around because this is some of the best football I've seen Arsenal play in about 4 years, to be fair. And I said it last week when I saw their starting 11 against Burnley, and I said it again today. First time in probably 3 or 4 years I've looked at an Arsenal team and gone, you know what, I can actually see what he's trying to do there. I can see an 11 that he can build and try and play with week in, week out. And don't forget as well, the first 3 games of the season, they had a bit of a defensive crisis, didn't they? I think Ben White had COVID, Gabriel was injured. I'm from Aberdeen, when you're next up, says Kazan. Never been there. Mark, blink twice if you think Arteta is a better coach than Ollie, says Abby. Well, I will blink twice at some point, won't I? Look how quick Arsenal moved the ball compared to us yesterday. The tempo difference is laughable, says Ethan. Spurs are finished. Spurs will be alright. Spurs will be Spurs. Spurs will... they won't win anything and they'll probably finish 6th or 7th. But I never, ever, ever thought that Nuno was a good appointment, and we will see. Wasn't Christian Romero supposed to be one of the best centre-backs in Serie A? Yet he's benched for Eric Dyer. I don't get it, says Carl Jan. Yeah. In fact, Carl, let's do a little bit of a game here because we are a community. I'm going to copy and paste Carl's super chat. I'm going to just paste it straight onto Twitter. Let's see how well that does, Carl, as a little experiment, because I think you make a good point. Mark, you forgot to change the stadium name. Yeah, we know. And Nuno was the backup, facts. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, Merck's right, really. Wait a minute, Arsenal on the attack again here with Saka. If he feeds it, oh, he nearly did. He's still going, it's 3-0. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my gosh. Oh my golly gosh. It's 3-0 to Spurs. Well, you wish it was 3-0. It's 3-0 to Arsenal. Absolutely battered. Absolutely embarrassing for Spurs. 3-0 now. I'm not, you know what, I'm actually not surprised, because I think if you watched the game with me last week between Chelsea and Spurs, we saw this then. It all comes from Harry Kane as well. I mean, I don't know whether Smith Rowe gets does Smith Rowe get an assist for that? Because he did pass it out to Saka. No, he won't get an assist for that, will he? He did do the last pass. I think there's a claim for it, but this is an embarrassing first half for Spurs, and I don't think Nuno is going to last very long as Spurs manager losing games like this. It's pitiful, it's embarrassing, and it's appalling. They play too slow. Arteta is loving it. Arsenal front line are playing for each other. I hope Ollie starts playing the likes of Sancho and Martial, even Pogba, because they are team players, says Oni. And it's 3-0 here. And it's been fantastic football from Arsenal and slow, lethargic, turd football from Spurs. But Spurs fans are a funny lot. You know, I did say it on social media, Nuno ain't a good coach. Oh, shut up, Goldbridge, this, that and the other. I'm like, no, I know what Spurs' heritage is all about. I know it's about not winning trophies. I think we all know that. But it's also about, and there are Spurs fans walking out here, it's about Spurs are a footballing club. They want to play football. They don't want coaches who set them up defensively and try and nick a goal. And they had that with Mourinho, and now they're going to get it again with Nuno. And I would say Daniel Levy knows this. Like, Daniel Levy knows this. Why is he appointing managers that don't fit in with the ethos of Spurs Football Club? And, you know, I've got no affiliation to Spurs at all. But when I saw they got Nuno, I was like, wow, what a terrible appointment that is. I mean, it'd basically been figured out at Wolves. It was time to go, Nuno, at Wolves. And then Spurs go, yes, come to us. Mad, absolutely terrible. And he's basically a Mourinho disciple. You could say he's a Poundland Mourinho, but he's definitely a Mourinho disciple. Oh, this could get ridiculous here for Spurs. Ridiculous. I'd sub Harry Kane off. I would sub Harry Kane off. I think I've seen him a few times this season. And, you know, there's professional pride, there's respect to the football club that made you, and I just think he can't be arsed. He cannot be arsed, and I think professionally he is playing like a player like that. And I know that's a big call, but he is better than that. And, you know, he's one of the world's best number 9s. He ain't interested. His body shape, he's not interested. He's, you know, and I think that's appalling. And I know you get people like Gary Neville who sort of stick up for Kane, or let him go. But then you get different opinions when it's like a Paul Pogba or something like that. And I think, you know, this English bias is wrong. He is a Spurs player. He ain't playing for Spurs. He's in a privileged position. Spurs made him as a footballer. Now, maybe they should have let him go. Maybe they should have done. But he signs the big contract at Spurs in the first place. He signs that big contract. He's not a prisoner. He signed that contract, and I think his form at the moment is pitiful, absolutely pitiful, and I just don't think he looks interested. Call it a hunch, but I don't think Mark likes Nuno, says Lord. And Spurs should really be looking at Graham Potter. What do you think? I think he'd be a perfect fit, Owen. Absolutely perfect, and he would have been a perfect fit in the summer. In fact, Owen, Potter would have been a better fit for Spurs in the summer than Nuno, but they never even looked at him. It won't happen, however. I'm moving closer to wanting Zizou as manager. He wanted Donny before, so would use him. Don't challenge this year. Pogba goes, says Daniel Kirk. We're talking about United. Zane's got the super sticker out. Zane, you keep coming in with your super stickers, but we want to know why you're such a hypocrite, because you've been shouting Arteta out for ages. So come on, a few words from you, Zane, about Arteta. But Mark, who wants to be Spurs manager? Nuno wasn't even fourth choice. They got turned away by numerous managers this summer. But yeah, they should have gone for Potter. If Kane was Martial, he'd be called lazy, says Red Baron. Yeah, I'm going to tweet that in a moment. And thanks for the super chats that are coming in. I think I've read them all. Danielle says Arsenal versus Spurs is really one team trying to play football versus one that is not. Tactics can make a team. We'll slander Arsenal, but United can learn something from this tactical nuance. Very good point, Daniel. Thank you. Very good point. No, you know what? I like Harry Kane. I think he's one of the best strikers in the world, like I say, but it's very obvious he couldn't give a shit about Spurs at the moment. He's hardly moving around. You know, I've seen Harry Kane on his toes, sprinting around everywhere. He ain't. I'd take him off. You're playing with 10 men. Number 10, you're playing with 10. He's hardly moving at all. It's shocking. One of the best players in the Premier League last year. I'd rather play Origi up front if I was a Spurs fan. Shocking. Absolutely shocking. And the contrast with someone like Aubameyang, who last year would have been having the same, would be having the same questions asked about him. And it just shows you when a player's engaged. You can tell when a player's engaged. Harry Kane is not engaged at the moment. And Aubameyang, for whatever reason, wasn't engaged last year. And now he is. So, you know what? I just want to check something as well, because Smith Rowe, at the moment, points, let's have a look. 46. Smith Rowe, he only got 1 assist. He's got 1 goal and 1 assist, Smith Rowe. But he's got 33 points in the bonus point system. Saka and Smith Rowe have been absolutely fantastic. And I think that's the exciting thing about Arsenal as well. It's funny because a lot of people say, why do you speak so positively about Arsenal and Arteta? It's because when I'm not watching United, I do watch a lot of football, and I don't just have United glasses on when I'm not watching United. I try and engage and get involved in the game that I'm watching. And I think that what interests me about the Arsenal situation is that I think Smith Rowe's a good player. I think Saka's a good player, and he's starting them both in the same team. He's brought Odegaard in there as well. I mean, his front three is very exciting behind Aubameyang. I mean, Aubameyang is actually playing as a striker as well. I could never understand why Aubameyang played as a left winger. Aubameyang as a striker, for me, is a big thumbs up. He's then got 3 really exciting attacking players behind that. He's changed his goalkeeper. He's not just a manager that's gone into a club and rejigged everything that was already there. Like, you can see what he's trying to do. This is completely different to what Emery was doing. He's building something, and I don't know whether it's going to be successful or not, but it surprises me that Arsenal fans don't have the patience or, brains to see what he's trying to do. And, fair play to him, because it might not work, but it's definitely starting to look better than it did in his first year when he was going with back fives. But that was probably because he didn't have the players he needed. Thoughts on Liverpool versus Brentford game, says Nathan Allen. Very good game to watch. Very good game to watch. And Brentford were very impressive. And I don't think Liverpool should react to that with anything other than they played their part in a very good game. I know Liverpool will be disappointed because you'd expect to beat Brentford, and if you score 3 goals, you'd expect to win. But at the end of the day, Brentford were fantastic, and they will give teams, if they play like that, they will give a lot more. They've beaten Arsenal there. Some would say that's not difficult, but I think that Brentford would beat Spurs. Joshua says, not to take anything away from Arsenal, but they're showing how simple it is to play good football. 1 or 2 touch passing and moving into space off the ball, says Joshua Bowwater. Mark, isn't it unfortunate how much better Arsenal playing compared to United yesterday? Evan, I don't think... Let Arsenal fans get excited about that. they'll look at the league table, they'll see they're 4 points behind United when they've won this game, and they'll start thinking, you know what, we can get in a top 4 race. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm never going to knock a fan for, dreaming. Arsenal shouldn't finish in the top 4. Anything can happen, but really the top 4 should be locked down. It should be Man United, Chelsea, Liverpool and Man City, and the best Arsenal can do is 5th. But if I'm an Arsenal fan right now, I'd take 5th. That's a big improvement. The next best club outside the 4 favourites. That's where year 1, year 2, let's get closer to them. Year 3, let's be there. That's the plan for Arsenal. But some of their fans, as we know, they're just loudmouth idiots who they just think if they lose a game, it's the end of the world. Like, will they be putting the praise on their manager? Because I tell you what, to me, it doesn't look like it's something suddenly changed. I think if they actually had a brain, they would see what Arteta's been trying to do for the last 18 months. It's just taken time to do it. What a ball that is to Aubameyang. And Dyer's there. He is Dyer, isn't he? Look, I can get frustrated. I can react to United scoring a goal or letting a goal in. I can say it's the best goal you've ever seen in the world, and I can say it's the worst bit of defending you'll ever see. But for 99% of what we discuss on United Stand about United, yes, you might not agree with the opinion, but it is a thought-through, analytical approach backed up with evidence. I just think sometimes with Arsenal fans, it's just noise. And it's, one result, blah, 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 another result, blah, blah, blah. Another result, and it's one extreme to the other with absolutely nothing in between. And I think that doesn't do you any service. The Arsenal fans I appreciate and like talking to are the Arsenal fans that I've been talking to for a while who say, don't want Arteta to be sacked, thinks it's a very hard job. He might not be the right man, but you've got to give him a bit more time in the first 3 games of the season because we had a difficult start to the season with a few injuries. He's brought a few players in. A lot of the players are young. And it's obviously a project. So, scary to think that Fred will start week in, week out. Hanrahan, it is. Let's be honest, Arsenal fans wanted Klopp, but even he would need 5 years to build that club, says Nathan, just like he did with Liverpool. Arteta needs backing. Exactly, Nathan. I said it a few minutes ago. Reality is, you've got to give Arteta all of this season and maybe some of next season. But he will... I'll warn any Arsenal fan who's watching, you are going to lose a game. Probably in the next few weeks. You might lose to Leicester. You might lose to Brighton. You might lose to Villa. You'll probably lose one of those games. And the reaction to that has got to be, we're a work in progress. If you go and win your next 4 games, bloody hell, that's amazing. And maybe you will do that. But I do think you're going to still have the roller coaster on the journey back. And that's a big journey, It's a big journey. 8th, 2 years in a row. I think 5th would be a massive achievement. 4th, build a statue. Obama, who you're going to be slaughtered at the Emirates, still Arteta out. Partey will have Ronaldo in his pocket, says Zane. He's still Arteta out, you see. What does Nuno even say to his team at the half, says It's. And met Alanga yesterday, staying in the same hotel. What a guy, he deserves to be given a chance, surely, says Liam. Nice one. I don't think you will get a chance, mate. He should have gone on loan. Spurs on a very rare attack here, but nothing happens. We are... What are we? What are we? Well, it's half time. I was going to say, is it nearly half time? It is half time. It's flown by, and that's courtesy of Arsenal's fast attacking approach that has made it the half that is. But half time, it's 3-0 to Arsenal. Spurs can have no complaints. Absolutely dominated. It's almost like Arteta looked at what Tuchel did last week, copied it, and Spurs have just not been able to deal with it. Because like last week, it could have been 6-0 in the second half to Chelsea against Spurs. The same thing has happened again. Absolutely dominated. Absolutely appalling. But the big thing I would say is that Harry Kane should be subbed off. Now, I know a lot of people might disagree with me with that one, but Harry Kane should get subbed off. That is appalling. Absolutely appalling, and it's not for the first time. It kind of reminds me how United fans reacted after Tottenham pumped them early on last season. Maybe this year, Arsenal could be last year's United, says Jake. Good God, Mark, Spurs are crap, aren't they, says Funky. And Ali is a poor man's Fred. Spurs players are disgrace. No show at all. They have ruined Dembele, and ignorance of trying to keep Kane has killed them, says Seb Watson. Sub him off and call City to sort out a January transfer while he's still got some value, says Aaron Brown. Yeah, look, you know what? It's only opinions, of course. That's what it always ever is. But to me, I've seen Harry Kane play 2 weeks in a row now, and I think he's absolutely crap. If I didn't know that was Harry Kane, I would think it was, Chris Wood. I mean, Chris Wood would do a better job, and I'm not disrespecting Wood. Don't you disrespect Wood. But what I mean is, it's Harry Kane, one of the best strikers in the world. I've watched him play for 2 games and he's been absolutely appalling. That's professionalism. Where's your professional pride? It's petulance. He shouldn't be playing. And look, Levy's messed it up, but Harry Kane is you can't play for Man City until at least January. Where's your professional pride to go out there and work hard? He clearly has down tools mentally. He's not interested. He's not running. He's not making the moves. He's not, he's losing the ball. Absolutely terrible from Harry Kane. Absolutely abysmal. And look, what the problem is, some people will say, well, he should have been allowed to leave. He signed the big contract at Spurs. When he signed the 5-year contract 2 years ago, what did he think was going to happen if Spurs said, well, you're not for sale? Yeah, I'm sure he wants to go to City, and it must be very, very disappointing, but you're not at City. You're at Spurs, and he should be putting far... He knows the importance of a North London derby. That game for him should be absolutely huge. I've seen more effort from a corpse. It was awful. That was dead football from Harry Kane, and I'd be embarrassed. He should be embarrassed. Whether he is embarrassed or not, I'd be embarrassed, and if I was a Spurs fan, I'd be appalled. He needs a rocket up the arse. He needs to get out of whatever mood he is in, because he is damaging his own reputation. Maybe he thinks he's damaging Spurs for not letting him go, but he's damaging his own reputation. And as a footballer, as good as he is, with England captain, let's see what he does for England in a couple of weeks, because I guarantee he'll be putting in more effort. It's poor from Harry, really, really poor, and I think it's disappointing. I can understand from his side that he wanted to leave in the summer, but you didn't leave in the summer. You're still at Spurs, and in a game like that, he should be doing better. But he's not the only one. I don't understand what happened to Dele Alli. At one time, 3 or 4 years ago, he looked fantastic. I mean, this is meant to be the new Dele Alli who was mistreated by Mourinho. It's the same old Dele Alli. The odd good little bits of flicks, but nowhere near the player he was 3 or 4 years ago. He's crap. He's absolutely crap. Son is lost in the system. And look, let's be honest. Yeah, Harry Kane's been really poor. Dele Alli's been really poor. But so's Moura. So's Son. This is the appointment of the manager has to be on Daniel Levy. And how they thought that going for Nuno was better than going for a Graham Potter or someone like that, I'll never understand. Nuno is a disciple of Mourinho. Mourinho didn't suit Spurs, so they go and get another Mourinho. It's mad. Some of the decisions Spurs have made are ridiculous, and I think it's going to be a very, very difficult season for Spurs. I really do. But for Arsenal, they're on the up. They're on the up. As I said, their season started 3 games in, having lost their first 3. International break, Arsenal have got no points, Spurs have got 9. Now what's going to happen? Arsenal have got 9, Spurs have got no points. They'll be level on 9 points each tonight. So things can change around very quickly. Arteta's not panicked. He's stuck to his principles. He's bought the players he wanted in the summer. I must admit, he spent over 120 million quid, and I was like, what's he spent it on? Actually, at the moment, you can sort of see what his plan is. It's a long-term plan. These players are younger players. Didn't understand why he spent £25 million on Ramsdale when he's already got Leno, but he did it because he doesn't want Leno. Fair play. Leno's not his goalkeeper. He didn't buy Leno, so he's building his own team, and I think fair play to him. They've thoroughly deserved their win, and 3 wins out of 3 is good. Mark, I have a bad feeling it will be difficult for us against Arsenal in a few weeks. The game reels me. Ollie has to get tactics right, otherwise he's in trouble. I mean, look, we're not talking about that because that's Man United against Arsenal. This is Arsenal against Spurs. But ultimately, Arteta tends to do quite well against Ollie, so you're probably predicting something. Spurs have conceded 9 goals in their last 3 games after conceding none in their first 3 games and beat Man City. It's a mad season, says Aidan. You know what, Aidan? It's not. It's really not. You know what it is? It's deceptive. That's what it is. If you watch those Spurs games, the game against Man City were just appalling in that game. The game against Wolves, Spurs should have lost 3 or 4-1. And it was a mismatch. Like that game never should have been 1-0 to Spurs. Like it was a smash and grab. Wolves, if they could finish, would have won that 3 or 4-0. So Spurs' first 3 games, I mean, the Man City result was good, but their first 3 games were a little bit false, to be honest with you. Kane is in the graveyard shift, to be fair, Mark, says Merlin. Well, he is in the graveyard shift to a certain extent, because I think Son's in the graveyard shift, and I think Moura's in the graveyard shift, and I don't think Spurs are moving the ball forward anywhere near enough. I would agree with you with that. But what I would also say is that, it's not just being in the graveyard shift. It's about the effort levels. He's just not putting any effort in, and that's very, very clear. Must just say as well, big shout out to OneFootball for sponsoring the show today. You can download it for free. It's on Apple and Android. You can get all your football scores, all your football news all around the world through the OneFootball app. Fantastic little app. It's free to download on Apple and Android. So please give it a download, and thank you very much to OneFootball for sponsoring the show with us. It's 3-0 here at half time. Look, Arsenal have been 4-0 up before and ended up drawing. Anything can happen. A red card, an early penalty. It's a game of 2 halves. What do Spurs need to do in the second half? They need to come out and show a little bit more. They definitely do. But have they got any more? I don't know whether they've got any more to come out and show any more. So it'll be interesting. But Arsenal have been fantastic in that half. And as I said, it's very funny, isn't it? Because you keep your ear to the ground. You hear these very vocal Arsenal fans who just basically seem to celebrate losses as much as they do wins. But they create this flip-flop environment. It's so difficult to find an Arsenal fan that speaks any sense because, and I do know a few, and most of them are like, we've got a long way back. And maybe Arteta's not that guy. But you've got to see whether he's that guy before you go and get the next one. And it feels like they've just jumped way too early. And now they've got nowhere to go. There are people out there that I've heard and seen say Arteta's a bag of shit, and they're Arsenal fans. So what are they saying now? What are they going to say now? Oh, he's finally doing it the way he should do. But I'm not an Arsenal fan, and I can see what he's been trying to do for the last year. You can see the gradual changes whilst trying to get results. Remember, last season was the most relentless football season on record. They were playing 3 games a week, every week. But you could see what Arteta was trying to do. He was trying to make little tweaks here and there. And then over the summer, he's brought a new goalkeeper. He's brought some young players in. And the last 2 weeks especially, since he's had Ben White and Gabriel back at centre-back, and he's brought this new right back in, and he's got Ramsdale in, and he's playing Xhaka and Partey, and he's got those 3 youngsters of Odegaard and Smith Rowe and Saka, and he's put Aubameyang through the middle. It's probably the most exciting Arsenal scene I've looked at in a long time, but it's the most sensible Arsenal 11 I've seen in a long time. It makes sense. You look at it and you go, they'd give Leicester a game. They're going to give Spurs a game. They'll give United a game. Whereas I think over the last 2 or 3 years, I've looked at Arsenal 11s and gone, well, they might get a result because it's Arsenal, but it doesn't look scary. It doesn't look like it's going anywhere. And I think you can see that team now, and it's a lot of the players in that team. And it's not about age either. Some of them are young, but you can actually see it and going, that's a team you can build with over the next 2 or 3 years. And look, maybe Aubameyang's gone in 2 years, but you bring another top-class striker in. And maybe they need to replace a left-back or a Xhaka, but you bring another midfielder in. What Arsenal needed to do is build a system and a team that you can then tweak. They never had that. Arteta came into the club and he was playing with a back 5. And I think he was playing with a back 5 because he was like, this is the best way of getting results. Keep it tight, try and nick a goal up the other end. But it wasn't the Arteta we all expected, because he spent 2 or 3 years sat next to Pep. Why would his principles be back 5 hitting on the break? And I think he had to do that because he had a vision, but it was going to take time to get that vision. And I think if this works for Arsenal and they finish 5th or 6th, which is progress, and then he can bring in another good holding midfielder, another good centre-back, another good striker, and start, building around those players that he's got today, who knows what the future could be for Arsenal? I think it's a long way back. I think it's very hard. I mean, it's very hard for United, and we've spent money, a lot of money. Even with Ronaldo, it's very hard for United to get close to a Man City or a Chelsea or a Liverpool. But Arsenal's first aim is to provide stability, and I think Arteta might be on the path to doing that. And stability for me would be a deep cup run domestically, maybe even a win in the cup, and fifth or sixth in the league. And then next year, a couple more players come in, and you go, I want Champions League football. And then when you've got Champions League football, you're achieving because you are making that top four a top five and competing with them, and that's going to take a bit of time. It will take a bit of time. Could you shout out my girlfriend Jess? Lost £14, and once she hits 2 stone, I've promised her a luxury trip to Rome. Keep that fitness regime up, hun, says Douglas. Well done, Douglas. Thanks for the super chat there. We've read that from Zane as well. Trouble says, Mark, you're chatting absolute breeze. You would have been Ollie out if they'd got you to 8th last year. You're the most flip-flop YouTube ever. I suspect that is not your real name, and it's probably one of these Arsenal fans who are spending money because they're getting rinsed for being massive hypocrites. I'm not even Ollie out, mate. So you can't say you can't say I'd be Ollie out if we're 8th in the league, because I'm not even Ollie out now. So deal with it. I'm not. I have an opinions, and they're strong, but they're actually very, very consistent. So you might want to start dealing with your own fan base, because your fan base is a joke in relation to who speaks for your fan base. They are ridiculously flip-flop, and you know they are. Spurs midfield is so bad, says Edwin. I tell you what I will say in relation to Spurs. We've spoken about Spurs and we've spoken about Arsenal. In relation to Spurs, I don't like to say sack your manager, but that is inevitable. He is going to get the sack. He is absolutely not the right fit for you. And it might take a little bit of time for it to happen, but I guarantee you I'm going to be right about that. He is not good enough for what Spurs need, and I think that you will ultimately end up having to sack him. But I thought that from day one. You know what? I've never sorry, I'm just sending a message here. When Man United got David Moyes, I remember saying to my mate, I wasn't doing YouTube or anything like that then. I said to my mate, when Man United got David Moyes, this man is never going to be a Manchester United manager, and he never was. He was gone within a year. I have the same feeling about Nuno. I don't think he'll be your manager in a year. I think he might be the sort of manager that gets sacked after 6 or 7 months. And you know what? If I was in charge of Spurs, I would be sat here even now going, Potter's the man. Potter's the man. A project man. You can't. What you need to do at Spurs, and Leicester do it, and what Arsenal are hopefully trying to do, if you want to get near the top 4 now, you don't just appoint a manager and it happens. You've got to build a project. Do you think Nuno is the man for Spurs to build a project to get them near the top 4? Never in a million years. Never in a million years. If they went and got Potter and said, look, Harry Kane's going, you can use the money to rebuild the team. You don't have to worry about the big ego of Harry Kane, he's going. So if I was Spurs right now, I'd be like, give Nuno till Christmas. If it's not got any better by Christmas, you sack him and you go for Potter. Mark, how impressed are you with Brentford this season? Gagan, I've been very impressed. And didn't you say you'd be Ollie out if McFred plays once? Why lie, says Nathan Allen. No, I didn't. I've already explained that. And look, that's football. If you want to start bitching about your Man United shit, get on United stand. I'm not talking about what I don't know why people get little bloody excited nonsense about my brain and what I think about Manchester United and whether I'm Ollie in or Ollie out. I go to sleep at night. I don't need Horlicks. You're the one obsessive about my opinions. I'm not Ollie out. I think he's a bloody joke as a coach, but I'm not Ollie out because you know what? We could win our next 5 games and be top of the league. And I've seen Ollie do that. So, and also I know for a fact that the club aren't going to sack him until at least next summer. And I don't need the blood pressure. I don't need the high blood pressure of moaning about Ollie out for the next 9 months. So at the end of the day, look, that might be a bit defeatist, of course, but I can't control who owns Manchester United Football Club, unfortunately. If Manchester United were owned by competent people, it might be worth talking about, who the manager is. But the reality is we've got what we've got, and we better hope it turns around because he ain't going anywhere. So I'm Ollie in because it's all we've got. It's all we've got. Anyway, 2 substitutions for Spurs here. And I just want to know who the substitutions are. Let's have a quick look. Oh, I've got to fix... Any fixes for a laptop's fan, which just keeps constantly taking off. It never used to do it, so there's obviously an issue. It's a bloody good laptop. I've only had it a year. It's a really good laptop, but the fan is a bloody joke. I'm not even joking. Even though I said it is a joke. Let's have a look at the substitutions for Spurs here. I can't tell you who the subs are because they've not updated it on the system. Thanks, Zoe. Thanks that. Thanks for all the nice comments in the chat. Appreciate the community that we've built here. I'm going to give it a clean out, Dezen. Thank you very much. Somebody mentioned thermal paste. I don't know what that's all about. I'm not getting a new PC. I'll have to clean it. Does anyone know what the substitutions were? Emerson and Skip came on. Tanganga and Ollie off for Emerson and Skip, says James. Yeah, I saw Harry Kane was on the pitch. I thought that might have been a good idea. Hi, Mark. Can you do a Madrid versus Barca watch-along, says George. Oh, I don't know about that. People saying Ollie out during Arsenal game need to save their energy. Ollie's not going anywhere, let's be honest, says Jay. Also, the North London derby shows improvement, at least showing up, says Jay. And put a Man City sticker on it or the fans will get really quiet, might not even show up, says LS Colston. Thanks. So 3 minutes in here. I mean, Saka's man of the match. He's been absolutely fantastic. And, I mean, I don't know how Spurs come back into this. I know it's a brave move, but I would... has Spurs still got that lad Vinicius? Or did he go back? Was he a loan deal? What happened to Vinicius? Because I always thought he looked quite good. He was... funnily enough, he was linked to Arsenal and United before he went to Spurs. But I think he went on loan. And... Mark, I love the content. I love Jay's opinion on the fan forum, but goddamn, buy him a new microphone, says Meme. Needs new internet, the lot, mate. He's living on Pigeon website, I think. Thermal paste got nothing to do with it, thank you. Put toothpaste on it. I'm not a total dummy, you know. Will Ollie make changes for Villarreal, says S. Ahmed? I don't know. I've got Paul Ince on the show tomorrow morning, though. That'll be interesting. Chatting about it. A lot of people think Paul's in Ollie out. I think he probably is. This game will be the highlight of All or Nothing, says Charlie. Yep, of course. All or Nothing. I tell you what, there's an All or Nothing coming on October the 1st about Toronto Maple Leafs ice hockey. I like ice hockey. I might give that a watch. I don't know whether it's the first one they've done. Hi, Mark. How long did it take for your YouTube to blow up, says Skander? I don't know, mate, really. It's always been quite organic, the growth, so it's very difficult to sort of pinpoint a point where it blew up. It just sort of went... It's just gradually gone up over 6 years. So there wasn't really a viral video or anything like that, no. Dean Smith's a good coach, Will. I'll admit that. I think for Spurs, second half, a result would be 0-0. I thought the fan noise was your PS5 the other night on Twitch. Noisier than the Man City, says Blame Lewis. And Mark, thermal paste will only stop laptop overheating, mate, says Andy and Bruno. It's doing it again. I don't know why it's done it today. I don't know what the problem is. I think the fans might be clogged up or something. Why did you make a TikTok when you were drunk? I don't run the TikTok, Timo. So anything that's on TikTok doesn't come from me. I thought that the done that one. Mark, can you shout out LC, please? Says MF18, and thanks for the super chats that are coming in. Still not much happening from Harry Kane. I keep getting asked this random question from Only Football. Were you happy when England won the Cricket World Cup? Mate, I couldn't give a shit. I'm not massively bothered about cricket, so I like it when they win the Ashes. I can't say I was asked about the Cricket World Cup. I mean, is that the one where we beat New Zealand? I mean, it was all right. I enjoyed it at the time, but you know, half an hour later, I was having a bowl of shreddies watching Netflix. I wasn't like, this is the greatest moment of my life. I enjoyed the Rugby World Cup in '93. Kane is appalling. Oh, what a run by Smith Rowe. Right, what's the ref looking at here? Bit of controversy. Spurs looking a bit concerned, Arsenal fans, Arsenal players surrounding the referee. I think they're trying to say there might be a bit of a handball here. Oh no, a push by I don't think that's a penalty. I really don't. Arteta wants it. That's a penalty, mate. That's a penalty, mate. I bet it don't speak like that. Never a penalty. I don't think it's a penalty. I think it's a foul, but you know, ultimately, I think when you look at the penalty, I mean, look at the one I always look at now is they didn't give a penalty for Kyle Walker on Armstrong last week, so you're not going to get a penalty for something like that. Tuchel or Pep, Arteta or Ollie, like to hear what you think, says Batters18. Look, I think Pep's the best manager in the world. I've said this before. And I think the result they got yesterday was really impressive. And I suppose it was long overdue, because if Tuchel had beaten Pep yesterday, it would have been really surprising to beat him 4 times in a row. Pep at the moment has the upper hand on Tuchel because he beat him yesterday. But I think they're two fantastic coaches. And it was only a week ago we saw Tuchel just take the game away from Spurs in the second half. So I think Pep's still the boss. He's still the number one. But Tuchel is certainly a contender, as is Klopp. I think those three are fantastic. Spurs on the attack here. In relation to Ollie or Arteta, look, it's very difficult because Arteta's finished twice 8th in the league, and in that time Ollie's finished 2nd and 3rd. So, you know, I think it's very easy because Arsenal are winning 3-0 now and United lost 1-0 to Villa to say, well, Arteta's the better coach. But that's so, you know, we don't want to be like that as football fans. We don't want to be that, you know, flip-flop. You know, you want to have, you know, everyone can change their opinion. That's not being a flip-flop. But when you change opinion on, you know, small events, that's being a flip-flop. So do I think Arteta's a better coach than Ollie? Not at the moment, because Ollie has achieved more than Arteta in relation to league position, which is the hardest thing to do because it's 38 games. Does Arteta play better football than Ollie? Yes. Yes, he does. And will Arteta be the better coach than Ollie in 2 years' time? Well, Ollie might not be in a job, and Arteta might be, so therefore he's still better. Right, Harry Kane's just gone down here. I don't know whether this looked like it could be a free kick or a penalty. Mark, you missed my question here, says Sahaj. Is it good coaching and training the result of better effort and intensity on the pitch? If yes, who would you go for? Is good coaching and training the result of better effort and intensity on the pitch? I don't know what that means, Sahaj. I'm sorry. I've read it twice. I don't know what that means. I think that's a penalty on Harry Kane. I do think that's a penalty. It won't get given. And it hasn't been given. But I think maybe the other one for Arsenal was a penalty as well. I mean, they're both penalties. I just don't think they're severe enough now. I think there's a lot of frustration in the chat. But for me, they're both... Oh, what's going on now? What's going on now? No, nothing's going on now. I think they're both penalties, but what referees are now being told is not to give soft penalties. So maybe Arsenal should have had one, maybe Spurs should have had one. I suppose at the end of the day, both didn't get one, so it's about being fair. But to me, I think the Harry Kane one is a penalty. I would say Arteta is better than Ollie because he has won trophies with less talent, says Sports Pancake. And Mark, my hope was to see Arsenal to get relegated, says Flashy. Red Devil says Moreno is a doubt for Villa. Oh, mate, Villarreal. Mate, I can't be arsed with this. I really don't take any notice of this. You know, why should Man United, with the players we've got, celebrate Villarreal having a player injured? Like, you know, we've got to win now. I'd rather they had the strongest team. Tommy Esseu's looking like a steal at 20 million, been sensational since he came, says Daniel Eglinton. No wonder he was dubbed one of Serie A's best right backs. And yet Spurs have got one of Serie A's best centre backs on the bench. Go figure. Go figure. Please subscribe, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner to do that. We were very close to 536,000 on the road to 550. Bottom right-hand corner to subscribe. You're very welcome. Everybody's welcome on this channel. That's football. Our next watch-along is going to be Tuesday night for the Liverpool... Liverpool-Porto, but more importantly, Man City against PSG. Looking forward to that. Man City against PSG is going to be very interesting, isn't it? Methinks. Where you get your PS4 5? I need one. Get help, says Nathan Allen. From the shops. I didn't build it. Like, they do sell them. You've just got to get yourself on these bloody Twitter alert counts and stuff like that. And I mean, the best advice I'd give you is what the advice I was given, which is, you know, there's certain outlets that will have these PS5 drops, and you need to set accounts up with those outlets, because if it drops into Toys R Us, which doesn't exist anymore. Say Toys R Us gets some. I say to you, 12,000 people. Toys R Us have got 100 PS5s in. Well, 12,000 of you aren't all going to go there, but a few hundred of you might. Now, to sign it. To get your PS5, it's not as simple as just clicking it, you've got it. You've got to probably set up an account, fill out your address. The first thing you want to do is find these places, whether it's Amazon or, you know, Smith's Toys or whatever, or Curry's. Get yourself set up with an account so that then when it drops, you can just go bang into the basket and hopefully you'll get it. I wrote it in reverse, says Sahaj. I meant, is effort and intensity the result of good coaching? If yes, can we go for more technical coaches? Effort and intensity isn't coaching, mate. Like, fitness will make you fit. Effort and intensity shouldn't come from you can't coach that. That should come as standard. That's what I'm talking about Harry Kane in this game. He's not playing with any effort or intensity. He's coasting. You know, everything he's not running around properly. He's not running around at full pelt. He's look at this. I mean, that's a decent shot, but it's like he's not really at it. He's not playing at his best. Nowhere near. Nowhere near. Just collecting his paychecks as Marvin AM. And somebody says, well, that's a good shot from him. But even... I mean, look, it's Harry Kane. He's going to do some good bits because he's so good. But he's nowhere near playing at the level he can play. I'm not having that. And if Spurs fans think Harry Kane's playing to his best, then you're being mugged off. He looks about 50% of the player he can be. Time for a stretch. 8 o'clock show on the United Stand is going to be a good show tonight. We're going to be debating about Ollie for an hour. We've got Adam on, Beth on, Levin on, I'm on. I think we'll be having a very interesting chat tonight. Looking forward to that. So join us at 8 o'clock on the United Stand. Sure, it'll get quite heated at times. Levin's always been Ollie out. He just does it in a very pragmatic way. There is no chart show this week. Screw him. I'm not doing a chart show for a bunch of players that can't put in I'd be like David De Gea, number 1. That's it. No one else. I'm not giving anybody in at number 5. I mean they're all not in the top 10 apart from David De Gea. Well, Harry Kane's just missed an absolute sitter as well, over the top. Mark, Prime Iniesta or Prime Zidane? I've got to put the tweet out first. Zidane, easy. I mean, you're telling me, I think he might be offside anyway, but you're telling me an on-form Harry Kane misses that. He ain't there. He ain't there. He's not focused. He is not there. You can tell. You can tell. You can see it in his eyes. He ain't there. He ain't determined. He ain't focused. He's not got the intensity in his face. He's half there. He's not. He's clearly very, very unhappy at Spurs, and you know what? Maybe in his head he thinks he is trying, but maybe subconsciously, your body language is saying something very, very difficult. Something very, very different. It was offside, but he didn't know it was offside. He's not finished that like a player that's offside. He doesn't know whether he's offside or not. He's just finished it badly. Name 2 former players still playing you take at United, says Nathan Allen. I'd rather not, Nathan. I can't be asked to think, really. Now we've got Ronaldo, it's like can't really be asked. Some people actually think he's better than Haaland. I think Harry Kane, when he's on it, is a very good player. He's world class, but that's what I mean. It's very disappointing seeing him in this shape of form. Sahaj says there are many Liverpool players like Henderson whose fitness improved under Klopp. Made me ponder whether it is related to having good coaches around. All right, okay, see what you mean. Half an hour to go. Kyle says, do you still think Brentford are going to go down? Because as a Liverpool fan yesterday, they looked top class. Look, I'd be in a massive minority. If I did a poll now, do you think Brentford are going to go down? I think well over 90% would say no. I still think they will go down. Yeah, I do. But I know it's illogical, but the question asked, do I still think they'll go down? Well, I predicted it at the start of the season. I'm not going to change it. Mark, I agree that effort and intensity comes from players, but don't you agree that part of a coach's role is to try and maintain players' work rates, says Sammy Gleave. And also, where is Ricky? Missed him on the United Stand, says Dean. Still speak to Ricky quite a lot. He just doesn't want to do that sort of thing anymore. He was getting a bit of shit and his family said it's not worth it, which is, that's his choice to do it, isn't it? So, blame the trolls on Twitter who, constantly abuse people. Levin is truly great, one of the best ever, says Mario. Yeah, looking forward to having a chat with him tonight. Kane price dropping would benefit him to transfer, hopefully, says Yor. I don't think it will drop that much. It's not like he's going to go from 150 million to 25, is it? They'll still get 100 million for him. even in a year. But I think Spurs messed up. I think Spurs should have sold him. I do think Spurs should have sold him, but that doesn't make me sympathetic to Harry Kane. He's on a big contract, and it's up to Spurs if they want to sell him. And also, you know what? Can I just say, people say, oh, Spurs should have sold him. What were Man City willing to pay for him? Was it like they didn't want to pay any more than 120 or something like that? They bought Grealish for 100. Like Harry Kane, if Grealish is going for 100, to be fair, Spurs have got every right to say we want 150. So what do you think about Potter to United? Never in a million years. No. Spurs is the right step for him. He can't be going... he's not going to get a job in a top 4 club, is he? This is not going to happen. Skip's just been booked here. Ramsdale's obviously enjoying his life at Arsenal. Very animated goalkeeper. Obviously, I think Leno will be moving on, isn't he? Yeah, they won't get 150 million for Kane now, Shane, but I think they had every right to ask for it. I do. Would you take Alphonso Davies at United, says Joel? Nope. Good player, but we don't need him. Lloris has got that one. Mark, I know you're not a psychic but can you predict our next manager and what scenario? I predict Ollie to go at the end of the season that we go for Conte or Zidane, says Andrew C. I don't think Conte will ever manage Manchester United. I don't think Zidane will ever manage Manchester United either. And I don't think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will be gone next summer. I think he'll still be the manager this time next year. So I don't want to disappoint people, but if you know how that football club's running, you know what's going on in that football club. There is absolutely no appetite to get rid of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So I don't see that changing. I really don't. He'll get all of this season. They only sack people who don't get top 4, and he will get top 4. So I don't think he's going anywhere. So it's very hard to predict who the next manager's going to be because I don't think Ollie's going to go anywhere. You're asking me to predict who's the manager going to be in 2 or 3 years' time. I don't know. I really don't. And that to say, well, Marvo says Mark's such an Ollie inner. I'd say I'm a reluctant Ollie inner. I wouldn't say I'm a passionate Ollie inner. Some people are passionately Ollie in. Well, reluctant's probably not the wrong word. I'm a frustrated Ollie inner. That's what I am, because I know he's not going to go anywhere. I know everybody who's screaming and shouting Ollie out is just you are just seen as noise. Like, there are people in that football club who know you're saying Ollie out, and they're just like, well, it's just noise. It doesn't mean anything. We're not bothered. They're not bothered by that, and it won't make the change. The only thing that will make them make the change is a really bad run of fixtures, which will never happen with the players that we've got, or the players wanting change, which won't happen either, or the board wanting change, which won't happen. So I don't see any change. Mark, what do you think of James at Leeds? I don't know, mate. I haven't watched any football from yesterday because after United, I didn't keep any eye on the 3 o'clock games because after United, I just went for a big long walk and then I watched a bit of Liverpool-Brentford. When would sorry, I was going to yawn there. Matthew Everson says, when does Ed Woodward actually leave the club? Meant to be going at Christmas, but I'm surprised if he stays. It's weird that Bruno sent his penalty into the Rose Z in front of his own fans. Do you think he did it on purpose? No, I understand, Mohammed, why people think it looked like it, but he definitely... Why would he do it on purpose? There's no reason to do it on purpose. Bruno loves Ollie. There's no, he loves United. He loves the fans. There's no way he would miss that on purpose. There's nothing to gain from missing it on the purpose. It just was a very weird penalty from Bruno because it wasn't the way he normally takes it. My FPL was okay, Mia. I think I'm on about... Well, I can tell you actually. I don't need to think about it. I can tell you. My points tally at the moment is 48 points. And it should go up to about 50 by tonight because bonus points I will get as well. There we go. Here's the plane again. Permission to land. Luke Jones, after his performance yesterday in the first part of the season, how do you think Grealish has coped with stepping up to a title challenging team? I think he's doing all right, Grealish, but I don't know about anybody else. I just don't really... It just doesn't feel right with Grealish at City. But then again, some people might think that with Varane at United. What did you think of the AJ fight last night, says Joel? I thought it was a thoroughly deserved win for the other lad. Mitchell Bassett's just asked me about that as well. I mean, I presume there's going to be a replay. Not a replay, a rematch. But I think he'll struggle in a rematch. I've always felt that Fury will beat AJ quite comfortably, and that's not changed. PB says, what's your final thoughts on FIFA 22? I'm really enjoying it. I mean, the career mode, I hope you've seen it, and I did another stream on it today, and I think the game I played against Liverpool was one of the most exciting games I've played on FIFA for a couple of years. I was really like, they were really going for it. We were hitting them on the break. It was competitive. It was hard. I enjoyed it. So let's see what happens when the full game comes out. I need to work on my Ultimate Team, Leo. I've just not been able to do that because I only had 10 hours and I've been doing career mode. But from next week, I'll be doing more on my Ultimate Team, trying to move through the leagues. It's interesting because when you buy FIFA every year and you play Ultimate Team, it does take note of your previous performances and you can get dropped into like League 6 or 7 or whatever like that. Because I've just set myself up on PS5 and I've not bothered to move anything over, I'm going to have to start in Division 10, which is actually probably better, really. But there's some bloody good players playing online at the moment. Saka with the shot, good save by Lloris, 73 minutes gone. I'm not surprised this game has not had any goals in the second half, really. I think when you're 3-0 down at half time, especially if you're a coach like Nuno, you say to your players, we don't lose this second half. And Arsenal also go in and say, and Arteta says, look, whatever happens, don't let them back in the game. So Arsenal go a little bit more defensive and Spurs go a little bit more defensive and you end up with a 0-0 second half. Oh, everyone starts in Div 10 this year. Okay, all right, I didn't know that. There you go. Please subscribe, by the way, bottom right-hand corner. You're very welcome on the channel. We will be doing watch-alongs. Also, I'll be doing a match reaction to this, but we'll do... Our next watch-along is going to be on Tuesday night for the... thing. What's the new system to the game then? I didn't know what the new system to the game was. Do you have to? Is it points accumulation or what? We're only 100 subscribers away from 537,000, by the way. So if we could hit that before close of play, that would be fantastic. Make sure you subscribe, bottom right hand corner. Everyone's welcome. Fantastic community we've got on here. Love the streams, says Q6. Hope you and the family are well. Thank you very much, and hope yours are too. Tariq's a big Man United fan. He says, I can't see us winning Villarreal. They played football, and I can predict Ollie's team. Fred definitely going to start. No creativity. I think Ollie's good at winning these sort of games, Tariq. And I think after everything Bruno has done since he arrived, he doesn't need to explain himself to anyone, says Matthew Everson. You can miss a penalty, mate. Mark Noble missed a penalty last week. You can miss a penalty. As I said, I didn't want us to miss the penalty and I didn't want us to lose the game. But at the end of the day, it would have been a bit of an injustice for Villa, who deserved to win. Thoughts on James Bond film coming out? Looking forward to it. Stock. Looking forward to it. Critical says, I've just entered. How are Arsenal winning 3-0? Well, they're winning 3-0 because they deserve to be winning 3-0. They've been the better side. I'll tell you what game I would like to play. How long do you think that Nuno will last in the job? There's a question for you. How long do you think Nuno will last in a job at Spurs? Because he's lost 3 in a row. They were very lucky against Wolves. That was 1 win. And they are plummeting big time. They're down to 11th in the league now. Their goal difference is abysmal. Obviously, they won their first 3 games by beating Watford 1-0. They then obviously beat Wolves and Man City. But their next few... I mean, they're playing Thursday night football in that rubbish Conference League as well. Next week, they've got Villa at home. I think that could be a difficult game for them. Newcastle away. West Ham away. And then they've got Manchester United. So, look, you know, they could beat Villa, they could beat Newcastle, and they could beat West Ham, and they get 9 points from the next 3 games. But they need to sort out that Harry Kane situation because, to be honest with you, it's embarrassing. It's an embarrassing situation that you've got a player of that quality playing that poorly and visibly poorly. Yeah, I think he'll be gone. I think he'll go this year. I don't know how Spurs work, but if I was a Spurs fan, I would be very, very, very interested in Potter. Or even the Brentford manager. I mean, I don't think they get the Brentford manager, but Potter. I mean, but then again, can you get managers halfway through a season? You know, maybe they've got to give him the full season, but. How do you feel on a 4-5-1 for United, says Tariq? I don't know how that would work, Tariq. I mean, we're sort of playing that now in a different way, you know. Hi, Mark. I do think that Obama will have a good season. Last year was tough for him getting malaria and the virus, says Shang. I think the great thing about Aubameyang is that he's playing as a striker. I mean, remember that a lot of his time at Arsenal over the last few years... He's been playing as a goal, Son, 3-1, Arsenal, the comeback. I mean, there's an Arsenal player that's... I mean, it might get chalked out. There is an Arsenal player down injured, Xhaka, and he was down for the entirety of that goal. Now, the referee did wave play on for quite a long time after the injury, and Son scores. Mario says he's interested in Potter and he's a United fan. No, it stands. Game on. 10 minutes to go. Well, Xhaka's in a lot of pain here. I don't think VAR is going to review it, but he was down injured for quite a long time before the goal. Ooh. To be fair, you can't chalk it out because it's Partey with a good tackle. I know, I don't like that. Basically, the whole of Lucas Moura's body lands on the side of Xhaka's standing knee. It won't not be a goal, but it could be a very nasty injury for Xhaka there. 3-1. Not a foul. It will be a goal, but it's not a very nice one. Oh, if you had an Arsenal defender and you've just lost your points. Why have you got an Arsenal defender? I think he's going to be all right. I think it's probably just hurt him. What am I going to have for dinner? I had potato in the hole at lunch, so I'll probably just have a bowl of shreddies or something before the 8 o'clock show. Well, he's in a bit of pain here, Xhaka, but no clean sheet for Arsenal. I don't think he's going to play on. Think about an injury. He might just be a muscle strain, but he's coming off, and off he goes. Lokonga comes on. This could be 3-3, says Richard Bowyer. I tell you what, if this is 3-3, I'll be very surprised. It shouldn't be 3-3. Spurs don't deserve anything from this game. I mean, they've got 10 minutes to get 2 goals. It would be a major shock if it happened. I wouldn't even say Spurs have been much better in the second half. I don't live in London, no. Flashy, I don't. Thanks for the super chat, by the way. Please subscribe. We're very close to 537,000. We're only 100 away. So bottom right hand corner to subscribe. Shot from distance there from Tierney, goes wide. And also big shout out to OneFootball for sponsoring the show today. You know you can download that for free on Apple and on Android. The link is in the video description. All your latest football news, transfer news, worldwide news, stats and everything. Really good little app, and it's free to download. Man of the match, Saka. Yeah. He's been really good. Worst player on the pitch? For his ability, Harry Kane. He shouldn't be putting in a performance like this. Smith Rowe's been good, but I would say Saka's been man of the match for me. I agree, Jack. If Pogba played like Kane, you wouldn't hear the end of it. Somebody said in the first half, if Martial played like Kane, they'd call him lazy. You know, it's true. But, I mean, it'd be interesting if Spurs did get another one with 5 minutes to go. Arsenal are going to just have to sit in a bit now. Is Saka a generational talent? I don't watch him enough to know that. I mean, I think he's a good player. I think Mason Greenwood's very special, but I have the privilege of watching the player come through at United over a number of years. I don't watch every Arsenal game. There's Spurs again. Cross comes in. Look at Harry Kane. He's on his heels all the time. He's so slow. Just jogging around everywhere. I'm not having that. I don't care. I'm not having that. I'm not having that. There's no way in a million years he gives a shit. He really doesn't. He's not. I've not seen him hardly. I don't think he's broken out into a sprint once. Just jogging around. I'd be if I was a Spurs fan, I'd be appalled with that. But I don't. Then again, I don't pretend to know the politics of Spurs, and I presume everybody just loves Harry Kane, and maybe they're sympathetic. I don't know, but sympathetic. He's been pathetic. Five minutes to go. There'll probably be about 5 minutes added on. Yeah, William, I think, makes a good point here. William says, Harry's head was turned, now can't get it straight. Just the thought of City money slipping through his fingers. Wanted to be with Walker, says William Campbell. Well, I think also, I mean, look, I don't pretend to say it's difficult when you know, he basically thought he was going. Remember, he announced it sort of before the Euros. He thought he was going to be going. He thought he was going to go to Man City. He wants to win trophies. He goes to Man City. He's playing Champions League football. He's got a great chance of winning a Premier League title. He's now stuck at Spurs, who, look at them, are going to be in the mid-table again. He'll feel this is a waste of his career. He's playing in the bloody Conference League. I get that. I do get that. I understand that. It's very disappointing for him. But, what are you going to do? Cry and go home? He's still in a fantastic position. See, Mary says she feels bad for Kane. I think some people do. But, he's still playing football in front of thousands of people every day. Every game. He's still earning a lot of money. He's still going to break England's all-time record. And he can still go next summer. And ultimately, he did sign the contract. And if City really wanted him, they could have paid what Spurs wanted, which I think was 150. Well, they spent 100 million on Grealish. And I think also there's a thing called personal pride. I mean, look, he didn't go to Man City, and he can't go to Man City. So why not give everything now and score goals and enjoy your football? Like, Sancho wanted to go to United. He thought he was going to go. Ollie told him he was going to go. He didn't go. He ended up staying at Dortmund for another year. At some point, Harry Kane will switch. He'll go, you know what? I'm not going to sulk anymore. I may as well just get on with it. But at the moment, he's still sulking. You can see it. He's still, pissed off. I don't think Kane will break Shearer's 260. What do you think, says Isaac? "88 minutes. Smith Rowe's come off. Got me some fancy Premier League points today, mate. Cheers for that. Had a bit of a shit week on it, so needed some of them. My midfield has really helped me out today this week, because my strikers, apart from Antonio, 2 for Lukaku, 2 for Ronaldo, 2 for Greenwood, but Smith Rowe's got me 10, Salah's got me 7, and Damari Gray got me 6. So they've massively helped me out. Bonus point system. It will be Smith Rowe and Saka if you've got those. Saka will get the 3. Smith Rowe will get the 2. It's probably going to be Aubameyang who gets the 1. So, yeah. Well, if you bench Kane, who plays up front? They haven't even got a striker, have they? I don't know who would play up front for Spurs if you benched Harry Kane. Let's have a look at their bench. They haven't really got anyone, have they? They've sort of created their own issues, really, because they haven't got a backup striker. Scarlett. Yeah. I don't know whether Vinicius is still there. Did they buy Vinicius or did they loan him? I will be watching the new Bond film. Looking forward to it, Jack. Viva for another yellow card here. 5 minutes been added on. Spurs, we're never going to come back into this. Arsenal can enjoy their 3 points that level them up with Spurs, put them on 9 points with Spurs. It's quite a congested. I was just looking at the league table there. It's quite a congested league table now. Arsenal are in 10th with 9 points. So even 9 points doesn't get you that high up the league. 10th position. Having said that, they're only 5 off the top. And they're only... oh, what a save by Ramsdale that was. Very much nearly a goal here. This would have set it up. He's loving life. He's like a bloody... He's like a lead singer of a heavy metal band, Ramsdale. He's mad. He's absolutely mad for it. But it's a lovely shot. I think it's Lucas Moura who hits it. And it would have gone in. Full strength, tips it onto the bench. Not onto the bench, onto the bar. Onto the Denver. Bergwijn must be injured, Himanshu. Yeah, he's not on the bench. I don't know whether Vinicius is still there. If anybody knows. I thought they loaned him, but if anybody can let us know. Fantastic save by Ramsdale because it hit sort of the bottom half of the bar as well. And he fully tipped it on. It was going to be a great goal by Lucas Moura. And he's really done a good job there, Ramsdale. Yeah, he went to PSV. He was alone, Vinicius. Well, that would have been interesting if that had dipped in. 3 minutes to go, 3-2. Of course, Arsenal have still got Pepe at the club, haven't they? I always rated that Pepe. I really don't know whether he'll ever make it now because, 2 years and it's never been consistent. Maybe he's never going to be that consistent type of player at this level, but he's... I did like him. I remember him... I would have took him at United at the time and I thought it was a good signing for Arsenal, but... doesn't always work out. Two minutes to go. Big win for Arsenal. Massive win for Arsenal. And we've mentioned it a couple of times, but let's repeat it again just to give it a little bit of... gravitas. After the first 3 games of the season, Spurs were top of the league with 9 points and Arsenal were bottom of the league with 0 points. 3 games later, Spurs have still got 9 points and Arsenal have got 9 points. Things can change around. All those Spurs fans laughing at Arsenal in the international break, look at what's happening now. Jacob says we miss Rashford. How can you say you miss Marcus Rashford and you've got Bruno Fernandes, Paul Pogba, Jadon Sancho, Mason Greenwood, Cristiano Ronaldo, Edison Cavani? Do you really... it sounds like such a spoilt, immature argument to say we miss Rashford. Like, Rashford's not better than Bruno. He's not better than Pogba. He's not better than Ronaldo. You can't say Rashford makes Manchester United better than what we've already got. We've got the players, we just haven't got the system. Can't keep relying on players to come back. You're always going to have a player or two injured. Like Luke Shaw's probably going to be injured now. Oh, we missed Luke Shaw. You've got to be good enough without these injured players. I think Rashford will make a big difference to United, and he's definitely a first teamer. But I don't think he's the reason we're not winning games of football. It's a little pesky fly that just keeps going past, and it's like small and slow. I just keep trying to grab it, like Mr. Miyagi. There's the final whistle. Manchester City are not playing. I saw Arteta, and for some reason I saw Man City. There is the final whistle. Arsenal win 3-1. It's a fantastic win for Arsenal. I've got to say they thoroughly deserved it. As for Spurs, I'm going to do a little bit of a match reaction because I'm going to talk about Harry Kane because I don't think you'll hear it from the mainstream media. Disgusting performance from Harry Kane, fantastic performance from Arsenal, and thoroughly deserved. And for the first time in a long time, I look at that Arsenal team. I see a team that I think has shape, has a future, and it's going to be interesting to see how it goes. I'm going to be on the 8 o'clock show on the United Stand. We're going to be talking everything about Ollie. There's 4 of us on. It will be an in-depth show. Make sure you join us on the United Stand for that at 8 o'clock. Thanks everyone for watching here. Make sure you smash a like on the video and subscribe. And I will be dropping up a match reaction in the next few minutes as well. So thanks everyone for watching. I'll speak to you all soon. Thanks for watching.